Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is third episode of top 10 missed Easter eggs. First two episodes were about Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And now we are gonna talk about all the missed details and Easter eggs about Thor Ragnarok. Before going into the details, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you are a Marvel fan, do consider subscribing to my channel because that's what we mostly talk about here. So first of all, let's talk about this scene. In this scene, there's a big dead animal behind Valkyrie. She was drunk and fell from a spaceship in this garbage, and there's a dead animal here. This dead animal is the same animal that Thor described as Bill Snipe in first Avengers movie. He described the animal like this.
We come here battling like Bill Snipe.
Like what?
Bill Snipe. You know, huge, scaly, big antlers. They trample everything in their path.
And this animal behind Valkyrie exactly matches the description Thor described. So there's a big possibility that in MCU, Bill Snipe animals do exist in the universe but not on Earth. They might be really common in every planet on universe, but they just don't exist on Earth. Let's move on to next Easter egg. In this scene, Loki shows a dream to Valkyrie of her past, when she fought Hela with other Valkyries and lost. She was the only remaining Valkyrie and she fled on planet Sakaar. That is the reason she was not willing to fight Hela in Thor Ragnarok movie in the first place. But then later, of course, she agreed. Anyway, in this scene, in her dream, there's a big tall woman in front of Valkyrie. And to avoid confusion, I'm gonna call Valkyrie as Scrapper 142. So technically, all of these women are Valkyries. And the Valkyrie who is saving Scrapper 142 matches the exact description of Valkyrie in comics. In comics, she was tall, pale white and blonde, and the Valkyrie saving Scrapper 142 matches the exact description. So she is the original Valkyrie who died to save Scrapper 142. And speaking of Scrapper 142, 142 is a special number for Valkyrie. In comics, the Incredible Hulk 142 was the first comic in which Valkyrie was introduced for the first time. Let's move on to next Easter egg. In this scene, Hela says to Thor, "What were you the god of again?" This is the exact quote of Gore from comics, and he used the same weapons as Hela uses in Thor Ragnarok in comics. And speaking of Hela, Hela is a mixture of several characters from comics. First of all, obviously Hela, then Angela, Odin's secret daughter, and then Kull, Odin's evil older brother that he imprisoned and made everyone forget that he even existed. Then obviously God the God Butcher, and also Enchantress from the comics. So these were all the characters Hela was based upon. Her personality and story was a accumulation of all of these characters. And speaking of Gore, Gore is going to be the main villain of Thor Love and Thunder. It's not yet officially confirmed, but there's a big possibility that he is going to be main villain of Thor Love and Thunder. We discussed it in my previous videos in detail. Let's move on to next Easter egg. In the movie, we saw Thor, Hela and Loki holding two blades in their both hands, and they all were holding and swinging the blades basically same way. We can conclude from this that Odin must have trained them on the same posture and discipline to fight, but they put their own fight style when they started to fight by themselves. It's not a huge Easter egg, but a little detail that is nice to notice and makes movie a little bit more perfect. Let's move on to next Easter egg and talk about the first meeting of Thor and Korg. Korg makes a joke about rock, paper, scissors on their first meeting, and then later in the movie, Korg talked about how he tried to start a revolution but didn't print enough pamphlets, and pamphlets are made of paper and paper beats rock. So in a sense, Korg is made of rocks and he was defeated by pamphlets who are made of paper. And then later in the movie, Korg kills Meek by stepping on him, and as you already know, rock crushes scissors. So there you have it, another rock paper scissors joke from the movie. Now let's move on to this scene. In this scene, as we already know, there are a lot of Easter eggs, but one Easter egg that was kind of unnoticed is this. This figure from the top kind of looks like Galactus. Of course, Galactus wasn't champion of Grandmaster Arena, but it might be simply a Easter egg. It might be a teaser how Galactus is going to be big bad villain after Thanos in Avengers 5. So that's it for today. Hopefully you liked the video. These are all the Easter eggs I noticed, and some of the data was collected from Reddit. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. See you in the next video. Till then, be happy and be safe.